On the House floor on November 17th, Congressman Courtney of Connecticut criticized President Trump's tariffs, arguing in some cases they're driving up costs instead of easing them. He said Americans need real relief from rising prices and that these tariffs are making inflation and affordability even worse.
And when we talk about the cost of living and affordability, if anything is close to maybe groceries, it's the cost of housing in terms of getting rents and new construction restarted. So what about that, Mr. President? Why don't we also look at what is clearly happening in our economy right now and provide relief for the American people who are groaning under the high cost of living? He has to look no further than the Conservative Tax Foundation, which again is a right-of-center economic think tank, whose analysis is that by October, tariffs have raised retail prices on all goods by nearly 5% relative to their pre-tariff trend line. And instead of solving high inflation, the Trump tariffs have continued it and in some instances increased it. This includes a 6% increase for imported goods and 4.3% for domestic goods, because a lot of our domestic goods incorporate items that, again, are imported from overseas. The fundamental problem here is that this president believed in his mind that he himself had the power to impose these tariffs. Let's be very clear. A tariff is a tax on imported goods. It is a tax. I'm from New England. Remember the Boston Tea Party? It was about a tariff on tea that the British government was trying to force the American colonists to pay. So right now, before the U.S. Supreme Court, there was a case was argued just a couple of weeks ago where, again, the plaintiffs powerfully stated that the president did not have the authority to impose those taxes back in April. That is an Article 1, Section 9 authority in the Constitution for the Congress. And for the sake of reestablishing the checks and balances in our country, and for the sake of the American economy, where issues like tariffs, which require a lot of analysis and are very complex and require Congress to be part of that decision-making. In fact, we are the decision-makers, according to the Constitution, that those tariffs should be struck down, and we should go back to basics, which is that when we deal with tax policy, it is the power of Congress that prevails in terms of making those kinds of decisions. And the harm that's been done to the economy, the harm that's been done to the middle class and working families because of the Trump tariffs that, again, were just unilaterally imposed and indiscriminately imposed against some countries that we actually have trade surpluses with, have to be rolled back.
For more congressional news, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.